Welcome again, everyone. Jerry's Old Guy Review, brought to you this week by Arctic Wings RC, where weakness is exploited. And today we are going to look at, I know, I told everyone at the beginning of the year I was not going to buy a lot of kits this year, eye candy. But here it is, Christmas time came, and let me just ask, how many people, quit making out with me, get down, you were bad today, and you know it. How many of you buy something just to get a free item? I wasn't getting down to love you. So, I just bought the FMS Atlas 110 scale. Heat's coming on. Speaking of that, Alexa, what's the temperature outside?
Right now, it's minus 25 degrees Fahrenheit. Tonight, expect a low of minus 28 degrees.
Yep, cold. This weekend, I'm getting the inside course set up so I can test these vehicles. But back to the Atlas 118 scale. So I bought the Atlas 110 scale because I couldn't beat the price, $250. Now, the 110 scale, you know, grubby old hands can work on that. Well, setting up the indoor course, I have two 118 scales. The Easy RC FJ Cruiser, which you can't see, and the Traxxas TRXM, which we haven't even seen on the channel. So I thought I'd get something different. I'd heard a lot of neat things about this little Atlas 6x6. Now, as usual, FMS, nice little truck, comes with the nice hard carrying kit that, let me know in the comments how many of you actually load your truck up in that to transport it. You get the truck. You get your USB charger for the included battery. You get your little goodie bag with some instructions, which don't do a lot. They do break down the vehicle, but I mean, what else do you need except for a screwdriver to break it down yourself? You get some extra springs, which I think this already might need. These are supposedly harder springs. Oh, because they say hard on them. You get a little screwdriver, and you get a wheel wrench that I would not expect with an 18 scale, but it's plastic. I will admit, I don't know, oh, and you got a little binding plug. I don't know that I have any plastic wheel wrenches. So, put those back in the goodie bag. You know, case, this doesn't have all the bells and whistles that the other one does, but it does have some nice magnets in it. So, you know, we could probably use those magnets for something. You know, it's got the case, fits the truck, fits the radio, which I find, and it only goes on one way, and that's the way. Comes with this little radio, you know, typical of the small trucks. It's got a little button on here to take it apart, to transport it. This is only the second radio I have like this. Very good for driving and filming. Oh, let's see, they got a brake caliper on it, you know, because you need that on your truck. Bare bones. It's got a channel 3. I thought it would do something with the lights, but it doesn't seem to do anything. And all the trims are just nice little push buttons. All I need for something of this caliber, which we're going to take this over to the bench to look at it a little better. We're going to compare it to the other 18 scales. You know, this truck looks very similar to me to, you know, the underside, axles, drive shafts. Everything appears to be 1/18 scale, but strangely, the shocks on it look like they're straight off the SCX 24 because they are tiny and skinny. Yeah, well, maybe. Nope. They're pretty close to the same. And the 18 scales have bigger ones. But let's take it over to the bench. We'll compare it to some of the 18 scales and see what we think. All right, and here we are back on the bench. So, oh crap, that's out of the frame. So, 118, 118. Scales are a wee bit off. An FJ Cruiser, wow, I'm horrible with this today. An FJ Cruiser and a Dodge pickup truck from the 40s. Not really, you know, that kind of, not quite the scale I'm looking for. You know, the truck body could have been a little bit bigger. You know, then we throw in a 2023-ish Bronco. So the tire sizes are all the same. The body is just a wee bit small. But the biggest thing I noticed was what I like. I like that even though FMS, you know, smaller company, maybe they're a big company now. Even on the small ones, magnetic. You know, I'm a big fan now of Traxxas and their clipless system. That body, I can take it right off. The Easy Hobby, I have to take screws off to get this body apart, which, you know, that's kind of ridiculous. But they make the battery accessible, that's it. But magnetic, 2 screws, take this off. Of course, that bumper is excessive, so you can't get in here very hard. The electronics up in front, let's see. There you go, up in front. Kind of conventional fare for a 1/18 scale. You've got, let me see, you've got the lights, but you don't have the annoying no turn signals. Pretty bright little lights on there. Tail lights. You know, for me up here in Alaska, lights are king. So, you know, it doesn't need more than that because I'm not going to be generally taking this out, you know, in the most horrible places. You know, what is that battery? It's glued in there. It is a 600 milliamp, 7.4 volt. It is a LiPo. Nice hard rack on the back. Kind of weird. It's got all these places for tools. I guess you can go buy 1/18 scale tools. You know, full size. You know, doesn't feel like there's anything in these tires for foams. But the truck's so light and little. Oh, there we go. Back it up. You know, it barely bows them down. You've got, it's got a clip on it, I think. You got a little, oh, that came right up. Got a little storage bin in the back. I don't know. Oh, there we go. Came right off. Little storage bin. I'm told that this will fit one of their batteries in it. It's got little handles and detail on it. You know me with details. So let's see if I can get that back together. Oh, goes right in. You know, unlike the 1/8 or the 110 scale, the exhaust is pretty flimsy, doesn't have a, the hole in it, but it's got this neat metal cover underneath it. There is what I think they should have did on the 110 scale. It is a 3-link with a panhard mount. That is, and it's the cutest little panhard. It's actually just a ball. It's just a little ball in there. There it is right there. Little ball end. All plastic. But drive shafts. Oh, they're plastic too. So everything's plastic underneath there. There's no metal other than the balls and the screws on this. But, the 6-wheel looks pretty well set up. But there we go. Let's look at those shocks. They're tiny. They are tiny little 124 scale shocks. But they do feel, I haven't torn them apart yet. I tried to look in the owner's book, but unlike the full size that's over damped, this feels pretty good. And I drove it around in the garage a lot. It's slow speed maneuverability's okay, but of course, here I've got now my winter projects, which I already had some. Now I've got 2 more to detail, and to get my indoor course set up so I can drive these trucks. The biggest part of the new stuff is for these 118 scales. I've got 2 of the 124s. Haven't really done too much with them. They seem to be very tippy. So we're going to see with these 124 shocks how tippy this is. So just from driving it, just from having it for a week, not a bad little rig. And I think they're 150. I got this one for 140 and a cool free hat. But hey, for 140 compared to, I ended up getting the easy model for $80. And I think the Traxxas one was actually $140 when I got it, but I also got the trailer with it. So we're going to see a little more of these 118 scales out and about this winter. Was going to take it out last weekend when it was still warm, but the bottom fell out and I'm stuck for a week. So I've just been tinkering in the workshop with them. So let me know in the comments if you guys have tried the Atlas 6x6 or any of the FMS has a lot of 18 scales. Let's talk about it. And until the next one, this is Jerry. Only one member of the crew today, but we will talk to you later.